taken in December 1957. Expensive crane hire was eliminated by using collapsible gooseneck low loaders to haul her home to Dorrigo. When these trailers are dropped, the front flap collapses to make a flat ramp, and portable rails are assembled on the deck and right up to the existing rails the engine stands on. Then the winch on the prime mover can be used to haul the engine or tender up onto the deck. The tender will be loaded first. Because no sleepers were used on the deck of the trailers, holes were burnt in the rails to take spreader bars, which held the rails engaged. Once more the portable track is laid out to bridge the gap, and when all is ready, the winch is coupled up and the engine is slowly moved up the deck. A lot of care is taken to stop the engine in the exact spot to have the weight distributed evenly over the road wheels. The dome and funnel had to be removed because of the height restrictions, which is the reason no sleepers were used under the rails. This is the second 19 class to be road hauled this way. 1904 was moved from Sydney to Newcastle in January 1979. As most industrial engines are not allowed to be towed on the main line, many of the museum's engines have travelled to Dorrigo, and many more are waiting their turn at Rhondda. Time for one last photo in front of the village. It was a long, hard haul to Dorrigo, and the 90 to 100 degree heat didn't help. Starting late on Sunday afternoon, the 28th of December, the convoy only made Dubbo before stopping for the night. The next day was a blinding hot one. Stops to cool off were made at Gilgandra, Coonabarabran, Gunnedah and Tamworth. Just past Tamworth is a steeply graded Moombi range, and the convoy waited till dark and cooler temperatures before climbing the range to stop overnight at Armidale. The next day, after one blowout and a puncture, both on the same trailer, 1919 travelled over the New England range to Dorrigo, a distance of 450 miles from Forbes. If she had come by rail, the distance and work would have been greater. She still had to be road hauled the 2 miles to the nearest rail siding, and had to be towed over the Great Dividing Range to Sydney, up the North Coast line to Glenray, before being hauled up the mountain to Dorrigo, a rail distance of 746 miles. 1919 has an interesting history. She entered service in December 1879 as number 114. She worked for 93 years and travelled 1,445,840 miles for the New South Wales Government Railway before being withdrawn in January 1971. She is the second oldest engine in the museum's collection. 1904 is only 16 months older. She was the last 19 class to be overhauled and the last steam engine in the old Everleigh Locomotive depot in Sydney. Like all 19 classes, she was unloaded near Circular Quay and hauled through the streets of Sydney by a large team of horses to Everleigh depot. '19 is finally home, but not quite, Because of congestion in Dorrigo Station Yard, she will have to travel a bit further to the new museum site, but not before a photograph is taken alongside 1904 and 1923. This museum site is on the opposite side of the road to the station yard and was levelled by the Army Reserves in September. A length of track had already been laid, so the low loader with the engine on will be dropped down first. Again, the portable track is assembled and bolted up. When all is ready, 1919 will be run off using the handbrake to control her. Once down on the track, one of the prime movers will be used to move her to make room to unload the tender. Over the next 2 days, Marion, number 27, Simplex and 1075 were moved from in front of the house, and Corby was brought over from North Dorrigo, all to stand in the track in front of 1919. For each one of these moves, the portable track had to be assembled and taken up each time an engine was picked up or set down. For those interested, this is the procedure used to pick up a collapsible gooseneck low loader, whether they are loaded or empty. First, the winch is attached to the trailer. It will lift the front flap up and over the roller on the back of the chassis. The winch then actually pulls the prime mover back under the trailer. When the turntable is locked, the prime mover is reversed back to push the front flap up and into position where it is locked. Simple, isn't it? To drop it, the reverse procedure is used. Once the brakes and lights are connected, the unit is ready to travel. 1919 is home again, and once more her bark will be heard in the Dorrigo Mountains. In the 20 years since the film of 1919's move was made, it has changed hands and now belongs to the Glenray Mountain Railway Incorporated. This preservation group is based near the old Perway depot, several kilometres out of Glenray. 1919 was overhauled and first steamed in late 2003 and now runs passenger trains on the first Saturday and Sunday of each month. The transfer of 1919 to Glenray Mountain Railway, though, was through an agreement with the Dorrigo Steam Railway and Museum Limited. This was when a dual purchase of the Dorrigo line was made and a redistribution of some of the rolling stock. Due to the vast distance from the nearest source of good steaming coal, the engine is fired on wood offcuts supplied free of charge from a local sawmill. The tender is filled from a tank which catches rainwater from their storage shed. Because this group has only been in operation for a little while, the basic facilities of selling tickets and souvenirs are conducted with the use of tents. The fire is made up and 1919 is ready to go. After leaving the station, the train drops down a 1 in 50 grade. A short 1 in 45 grade brings the train up to the Glenray to Luana road crossing. Further undulations brings the train to just short of Tallawadja Creek, which is as far as the track has been restored so far. Once the bridge over the river is replaced, several more kilometres are waiting for 1919 to run over them. Now the train will set off back to Glenray.
The ride might be only short, but in the short time that Glenray Mountain Railway has been in existence, great progress has been made. And if you thought you saw a Melbourne tram earlier, you were right. It runs out in front of every train, allowing people to get off at Talawajja Creek and photograph the arrival of 1919.